We never meant to become bullies. We never meant to kill Mrs. Westerfield. Looking back, none of us can really explain how it all happened, how a simple incident in fourth period math could spiral into this, into a living nightmare we're all trapped in. We were just kids, regular high school students, worried about grades, prom, and getting through the day. But Mrs. Westerfield wasn't a regular teacher, and our classroom wasn't just a place for learning algebra. It became her laboratory. It all started small, almost unnoticeable. A weird comment here, a strange assignment there. But then Nate, quiet, keep to himself Nate, started changing. He was always the one you'd forget was even in the room. Suddenly, he was at the center of everything. He was charismatic, persuasive, almost manic. He started telling us what to do, how to act, and we just listened. It was like we didn't have a choice. He became our leader, and we became his willing followers, even when the things he asked us to do felt wrong. We played pranks on Mrs. Westerfield, cruel ones that escalated day by day. We isolated her, mocked her, and turned her life into a constant state of fear. Why? We didn't know. It was just what Nate told us to do, and it felt right at the time. But here's the most terrifying part. If you ask any of us about those months leading up to her death, the details are a complete blur. It's a black hole in our memories. We have these flashes, these disjointed images of chalk dust, Nate's wild eyes, Mrs. Westerfield's face growing paler and more frightened each day. But a solid, coherent timeline, it's gone. It's like someone took an eraser to our minds and wiped the slate clean, leaving only the guilt and the confusion. We know we did these things, but we can't fully connect with the people who did them. It's like watching a movie of someone else's life after she was gone, and the police started asking questions. The official story was an accident, a tragic fall. But we knew better. We just didn't know what we knew. The official investigation closed, but for us, the horror was just beginning. That's when the pieces started to surface, fragments of a puzzle so horrifying we didn't want to solve it. We started finding things, encrypted files on an old school computer, a hidden journal in Mrs. Westerfield's desk, and cryptic messages she'd tried to send to someone on the outside. All of it pointed to her past, a life she'd run away from, a life in a top-secret government program. She wasn't just a math teacher. Years ago, Dr. Eleanor Westerfield was a leading researcher in a clandestine project focused on neural engineering. They were developing something called the N7 virus. It wasn't a biological weapon in the traditional sense. It was designed to be a psychological one. The N7 virus was an airborne agent that could hijack the human brain's suggestibility centers. It didn't make you sick, it made you programmable. It lowered your cognitive defenses, making you incredibly susceptible to influence, to commands, to a new leader. It was the ultimate tool for mind control. The project was led by a shadowy figure known only as the Speaker. This person was the master manipulator, the one who could use the virus to orchestrate mass behavior. Think of it like this. The virus primes the brain, and the Speaker delivers the instructions. People wouldn't even know they were being controlled. They would think the new thoughts and desires were their own. The project was deemed too dangerous, too unethical, and was supposedly shut down. Dr. Westerfield, horrified by what she'd created, took the last remaining samples of the N7 virus and the antidote, and she ran. She changed her name, buried her past, and tried to disappear as an ordinary high school math teacher. But they found her. We don't know how, but they did, and our classroom became the new testing ground. We believe Nate was the first to be exposed, either accidentally or intentionally. He became the new Speaker, a puppet for the real one pulling the strings from afar. He was the conduit. He was infected, and then through him, the influence spread to the rest of us. The air in that classroom, day after day, was likely laced with the N7 virus. It explains everything. It explains why we followed Nate without question. Why we turned on a teacher we barely knew. Why we felt this intense, irrational hatred. Our minds weren't our own. We were hijacked. The bullying was a calculated psychological experiment. They were testing the limits of the virus. Could it make a group of ordinary teenagers ostracize and torment an authority figure to the point of a complete breakdown? The pranks, the insults, the isolation. It was all a script, and we were the unwilling actors. Nate was the director, but someone else wrote the play. They wanted to see if they could push Mrs. Westerfield to her breaking point, perhaps to force her to reveal where she had hidden the rest of her research and the antidote. And that brings us to her death. Was it an accident? Did we push her? Or did she do it herself? a final desperate act to escape the psychological torture we were inflicting. Or maybe, just maybe, it was a failsafe, a way to ensure the N7 project died with her. We have a memory fragment, a single, clear image from that final day. Mrs. Westerfield, cornered, looking not at us, but through us, as if seeing the puppeteer behind the curtain. She was holding a small, unmarked atomizer, the same kind you'd use for perfume, and she said one thing, a whisper that has haunted us ever since: "You can't let him win." Then there was a spray, a shattering sound, and nothing. The next thing we knew, there were sirens. The police found the atomizer, but they dismissed it. Just a bottle of breath spray, they said. But we think it was the antidote. We think in her final moments, she tried to save us, to free us from the virus's grip. Maybe it worked, partially. Maybe that's why the memories are gone. Why we're left with this void. The antidote didn't restore what was taken. It just stopped the program from running. It cut the strings, and we all fell down. Now, we're left to pick up the pieces. We live with the fact that we were tools in a murder. We were weapons. The real monster isn't us, but the person who turned us into them. The speaker is still out there. The N7 virus is still out there. And our 4th period math class was just a field test. What are they planning to do with it next? A school, a city, an entire country? We don't have the answers. All we have is this story. The terrifying truth of what happened to us and what happened to Mrs. Westerfield. We have to tell it, because we can't let them get away with it. We can't let him win. Thank you for watching. If this story has shocked you, please share it. The more people who know about the N7 virus and the speaker, the harder it will be for them to hide in the shadows. Subscribe for more updates as we continue to uncover the truth. Stay safe, and always question what you see.